All right, guys, we are super excited to have this next guest on the program. You saw him put on a show in New Jersey this past weekend, throwing over 500 strikes to beat Robbie Lawler. He is on his way to unifying his belt with Kamaru Usman, the man of the hour. He is back on the program. It's true. It's damn true. Colby Covington, welcome back to Submission Radio. Great to have you, man.
It's good to be back, man. Thanks for having me.
Gotta ask, first of all, congratulations, obviously, Colby, but no, it's true, it's damn true at the end of the promo after the win. What happened there, man? We're waiting for it.
I know. I was saving that for some interviews, you know. I had a lot of important people to thank. You know, I had the first family in the building. You know, I had President Trump calling me, so I had to make sure that I got and the troops. You know, I really support the troops, and I love the troops. So, you know, I had to give my shout-outs to them, but I definitely appreciate what Kurt Angle did, giving me his blessing to use his walkout song, which, in fact, I think is probably got to be up there as the greatest walkout in UFC history.
Dude, it's a great walkout. I saw BT Sports split it, put it on YouTube. It's getting crazy numbers. Did you get we know you spoke to the president, but did you get a chance to speak with Kurt Angle after your win? And what did he say to you, if you did?
No, I didn't get a chance to talk to Kurt Angle, but, you know, I talked to my teammate, Bobby Lashley, and he was just telling me that he got his blessing from him and he was happy for me. And that's awesome. You know, me and Kurt Angle kind of share a similar story because Kurt Angle won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. And I just beat Robbie Lawler with no camp and a cut on my eye, and I couldn't even train. So we're in that same scenario.
Dude, you got to finish that sentence with the "it's true, it's damn true" for us.
It's true. Oh, it's damn true.
Love it, man. Love it.
Integrity and intelligence, boys.
Love it, man. If you could wear that belt as like a gold medal around your neck, that would be pretty awesome as well. I was going to say, do you think in the future we might actually see Kurt possibly even walk out with you or be featured in any of your fight week activities?
It's definitely not out of the question. It's a strong possibility. You know, we have some serious ties to WWE with having Bobby Lashley over there, and I heard Kurt Angle just took over for Raw, so he's going to be running the Raw section of WWE now. So, man, you just never know what's going to happen next. You know, I'm doing big things in the sport. I'm making history every time I fight. I'm doing exactly what I told you guys I was going to do: break history, and it's not competitive. I'm on a different level. So, you know, everything I do, you know, I'm breaking record books and creating history.
I know that Kurt Angle had like that son storyline on the WWE. I feel like Colby Covington would be the perfect. I got my other son here, and then you come out with a belt and you just put some ankle locks on some fools and just destroy everybody with some Covington slams, right? They'd be called Covington slams.
That's what I'm saying, man. Come on, dude. I have a life work in wrestling and slams and double legs and suplexes, you know, freestyle wrestling. And you know, I'm the perfect man for the job. And obviously I can shoot promos and I can get the crowd rocking like no one can do in this sport. So, you know, it would be a pretty smooth transition.
I think Kurt Angle also, you know, as an Olympian and a fellow wrestler, would have appreciated the performance and the clinic that you put on against Robbie Lawler this past weekend. You know, I know that with you, Colby, obviously a big part of your story is sort of, you know, your character, your personality. You're obviously a massive personality. But do you feel like this win kind of reminded people, you know, just how good you are and just how good of a fighter and how good of an athlete you are? Because the way you dominated, you know, Robbie Lawler, it was a phenomenal performance.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The world got to find out again who the best welterweight in the world is. You know, they got to see it again over and over. So, you know, it showed all the people that were doubting me, saying he was going to knock me out and this and that, everybody picking against me, you know, oh, he can't win the fight unless he takes him down every round. I proved that I can outstrike him. I can out-wrestle him. I'm just better than everybody everywhere. And that's just why I'm the most well-rounded fighter on the planet and going down as the greatest welterweight of all time.
You know, it's interesting, man. I feel like your performance was really, really good, but it kind of seems like the MMA community and the fight community isn't really sort of, from my perspective, sometimes giving you the credit that you deserve. I mean, a lot of them focused on the Matt Hughes comments and all that kind of stuff. And then we saw afterwards that Matt Hughes sort of understood what you were trying to do and he was sort of cool with it. He messaged Dan Lambert, and then Robbie Lawler didn't really care about those comments that much. Do you feel like people sort of paid attention to your performance as much as they should have?
Yeah, absolutely. They paid attention. Let's be honest there. I got a call from the President of the United States of America after the fight. What has Marty Fake Newsman ever got a call from? The chief tribe of Nigeria with smoke signals?
Well, we don't know. We're not sure what kind of phone calls he gets, but take us into that phone call. What did the president say? Is he a fan? What is the president's thoughts on
Is he a fan?
Usman?
Are you guys kidding me?
No, I mean, is he a fan of
Kamaru
Usman? What does he think about Usman being champion right now?
Who are you talking about?
The president. What did he say?
Of the United States?
Of course, yeah.
He doesn't even know who Kamaru Usman is. Are you guys serious right now? You think the president knows who the hell fucking Marty Fake Newsman is? The guy's a nobody. He's irrelevant. I was saying that what has Marty Fake Newsman ever did? I got a call from the president of the United States. I had the first family front row. The only calls that Marty Fake Newsman's ever got was smoke signals from his chief tribe person of Nigeria.
What did the president say to you in the phone call, Colby?
He said I was a great American champion. He appreciates that I'm self-made. And I had to fight for everything I got. No one gave me anything. And he said he wants to shake my hand again in the White House. So I'll be going back to the White House to shake his hand again soon. And he also said, don't hurt him. But I was like, Mr. President, when I went to the White House last time, I felt those hands. Those things were bricks. I would not want to get hit by those hands. You would knock me out, sir. And I also want to say to the President of the United States, thank you for taking it easy on creepy Joe Biden, because with those bricks of hands, you would probably kill that guy.
I was wondering, Colby, what was it like being sort of so close to Kamaru Usman and being in such close proximity after the fight? We know you left the cage, you were sort of looking for him. What was it like during that post-show being so close to him?
Oh, it's funny. I can see he's a coward, and I can already see that he's doubting himself. I could feel the energy. So he knows what's coming now. He knows what's in front of him now. So let's see if the man shows up. I don't think he's going to show up, and that's okay. Business moves on as usual. I'm going to defend this belt. This is the most prestigious belt in sports. America's belt. The people's belt. Donald Trump's favorite fighter. I got the first family coming to the next fight. You might see the president of the United States, the most powerful person in the world, at my next fight. What I do is history, record-breaking performances every time, most significant strikes ever thrown in a UFC fight. In that fight, I'm unbeatable. I'm unstoppable. You can't stop this train. If people want to get mad about the Matt Hughes thing, what did I say that's a lie? Where's the lie? There is no lie in that, and he even got it. So if he gets it, no one else gets it, then that's their problem. They're snowflakes.
I was going to say, Colby, do you think that this performance over Robbie Lawler is the kind of performance that sort of makes Kamaru Usman sort of, I guess, take notice and sort of take you, maybe even more seriously as far as a challenge? Did you sort of get that vibe from him a little bit?
I could care less. He sucks. He's a D2 level wrestler. He's not on my level wrestling. He's a D3 level fucking striker. He can't strike. He's got pillow fist. He's never knocked nobody out. He's a bum. I'm going to expose him. I'm going to leave him in a pool of his own blood. And you heard it here first. My performance over the weekend against the legend, first ballot Hall of Famer Robbie Lawler, was nothing shy of perfect. That's what they call a perfect game in the baseball world. Didn't get touched. Most strikes ever thrown. Completely dominated him in every facet of the game. The guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a legend in the game, and no one's ever done that to me, but I did it to him. And that's with no training camp. That's with 4 weeks. I had 4 weeks short notice fight, and I got a cut in the first half week. And as you can see it on my face, look at all the pictures in the fight. Look at that cut on my left eye. It's nasty. And that's what I did with no training camp, no sparring, no grappling. You guys, if anybody doubts me against Marty Fake Newsman, it's going to be the stupidest fucking easiest money I ever made in my life, and everybody that supports me made in their life.
I'll tell you what, man, it was super impressive to see you take the fight after getting that cut. I'm just wondering, you mentioned that the UFC had a makeup person that sort of covered it up. Was Dana White aware of the cut going into the fight, and what did he say to you afterwards after a performance like that?
Of course not, he didn't know. I didn't want to give him a heart attack. Me and Uncle Dana are best friends again. So I didn't want to give Uncle Dana a heart attack. So I didn't want to tell him. I went to Susie, the makeup lady. She's amazing. She did a wonderful job. I want to say much love to her. And, they covered it up. The commission couldn't see it, and she did a great job. She went over it 3 or 4 times. And, it really helped out. And I got to the fight, and I kept my left hand. I didn't get touched, man. I was moving my head. He couldn't hit me. I seen everything. I'm too fast. I'm too good right now. My vision's unstoppable. And I'm too much of a competitor. You can't stop that will in there. So, I'm proud to break the records and go down in some more history, man. What I've done in the sport, no one's doing what I do in the sport. No one's been to the White House. No one gets a call from the president. No one's got the first family front row. Shout out to the first family. No one has all the support of the military on their side. I'm a fucking superstar, and I'm not going to be stopped.
And a shout out to Susie for potentially saving that fight and doing such a great job. Now, you mentioned that, Madison Square Garden could be an option, but also you might have to go and get that cut fixed up because you want to make sure it's properly done, and the return might be in December. Is that something that the UFC's across? And, I mean, last time when you had to get your nose fixed, Dana White said, hey, we gave Colby his shot, he passed it up, and we gave it to someone else. I think the thing is, people are worried, what if the UFC do the same thing if you go and get your eye fixed? Are you guys on the same page?
Then that's their problem. We know who's the draw here. We know what I bring to the table, how I sell fights, how I promote. You don't know what I had to do for this fight. I was the one that had to carry the weight of this card on my back. You go look at the ratings. Before my fight, there's 500,000 people watching. When I fought, there was over 1 million. You can look at the ratings. Everybody's tuned in to see me. And they saw what I had to do all week in Manhattan and New York promoting this fight, going around 11 hours straight at Media Day, Sports Illustrated, Barstool Sports, CBS, NBC, blah, 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 ESPN, all day. Like, no one's doing what I'm doing in this sport. No one can stop me. That's where I was at tonight. Before I did this interview, I was out talking with my manager, Dan Lambert, and we're weighing out our options. And, it's time for the UFC to pay up their superstar, their champion, their undefeated beast. No one's stopping me right now, man.
I think that's something that's kind of underrated as well about you, Colby. Obviously, everybody knows your work ethic in the cage, but also, doing media, doing interviews with us after dinners late at night and stuff like that. It's very grueling, and, we're not the only guys in line, so we really appreciate it. Just sort of, on this fight, you sold the Robbie Lawler fight, you sold the Tyron Woodley fight before that, unfortunately didn't happen. And of course, you're selling this Kamaru Usman fight, but I'm wondering, what's harder, selling a fight with a guy who doesn't really like to talk, like Robbie Lawler, or a guy who responds all the time, like Usman, which potentially can be a bit frustrating?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Robbie Lawler was a muse, so I had to build a fight with a mock, but I still built that fight. People still were intrigued by that, but why I brought to the table, because he's a dangerous, he's a 4 or 5 time champion, biggest power in the division, scariest guy in the division, but it didn't matter if he was in there, if that bitch Marty Fake Newsman was in there, if King Kong was in there, Godzilla could have been in there. No one was beating me in front of the Trump family.
I'm wondering, man, you just mentioned that you and Dan had dinner and you want to sort of get paid for the work that you're doing. Do you feel like the UFC is paying you what you're worth? I mean, you mentioned it. You sort of headlined this card. You're kind of the reason why a lot of people tuned into it. Do you feel like you guys have to look at possibly even renegotiating for the next fight?
Absolutely. No doubt about it. I'm the draw to this. No one gives a shit about Marty Fake Newsman. He doesn't bring any hype to the fight. Everybody wants to see it because they want to see me. Whether they hate me or love me, it doesn't matter. They're all fans supporting. So all the people tuning in, they're tuning in for me. They want to see me. And, look at the stuff Marty Fake Newsman says. He's so stupid. He reiterates the same shit. You guys listen to him all lead up to this fight. He's going to say the same shit. Oh, you're going to call the cops. He won't drop that thing. He says the same shit over and over. He doesn't even, he's just retarded. Like, anybody that gets behind him, he's got literally the IQ of a midget. So, it's sad.
It's interesting that you mentioned that. Obviously, you're defending your title every time you go into that octagon. Do you feel like the UFC should put you on the contract of a champion, on the contract of all the champions in the company? And is that what's happening right now? Are you in the position where you're getting championship money for these kind of championship fights?
Damn right. I'm getting championship money, but it only goes up every time. Everybody knows that. When you win, it only goes up. So I am the champion. No one beat me for no championship. Who's beat me? No one. So, I won that title fair and square. Possessions 9/10 of the law. No one's beat me for this belt. You want me to put it down? Come beat me. But there's not a man alive that can do that right now. So it looks like they're going to have to keep paying me more and more every time. I'm not like Conor. I just talk, but I can't actually win. I win my fights when I fight.
So
and
is this?
they're not even competitive.
So is this going to be a negotiation period in the next couple of months while you sort of figure out what the next fight is? And will it be a point where you will refuse to come back unless you get paid sort of what you think you deserve?
I guess we'll just have to stay tuned, boys. There's no predicting the future. I don't have a glass ball, but you know, I got some things in the works right now. I gotta obviously go get this eye checked out, and you know, obviously I want to fight in Madison Square Garden. Why would I not want to go to New York, you know, and fight in front of the Trump family? But you know, if it's a possibility that I need to get this eye cut back open and need a month or two extra, then December in Vegas sounds amazing. And you know, that's the fight capital of the world. So I know John Jones was asking for New York. So I don't think I could be in the same room as that guy. The guy's a freaking idiot. He's out there telling the world, oh, Robbie, you let the whole world down. John, take a look in the mirror. You let the whole world down. Robbie Lawler's not out there crashing his Bentley with hookers in his car. Robbie Lawler's not out hitting pregnant ladies at red lights and running from the scene with all your drugs. Robbie Lawler's not smacking some girl's pussy in a strip club. Robbie Lawler's a good man. He's a legend. So don't you talk about him like that, John Jones, or I'm going to come up there and beat your ass.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, exactly right. You guys might end up on the same card together. Would you look forward to being a part of a press conference with Kamaru Usman sitting there and John Jones and having the opportunity to sort of speak to both in front of the world?
Absolutely. That would be a dream come true.
I can't even imagine that. That would be crazy.
I would rip into them both so hard, both of them. You know, just like President Trump says, truth is a force of nature, and I would hit them with all the truths. They would be so much in their feelings, because really they're just ultimate feelings championships. So, you know, they're the ultimate feelings champions. That's about it. Besides that, you know, I know John Jones goes and cries in the corner and does his cocaine every time I burn him up on social media with facts, because he's a piece of shit. And he's not this guy that, oh, I'm all about Jesus, so it's all for God, this and that. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Oh, I'm a family man. Oh, blah, I'm a great dad. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, great dad, just doing cocaine, you know, having sex with hookers on the regular. Yeah, real good dad and husband. Fake motherfucker.
Man, that would be an absolute can't miss press conference. That the views of the metrics for that would just be insane. Just wondering, Colby, you know, I know for a long time there was this narrative of obviously you and Jorge Masvidal both sort of climbing the top of the division, both closing in the title shot. It seems like he has his sights focused on Conor McGregor at the moment, while you've got your sights on Kamaru Usman. Do you feel like things have, I don't know that he's necessarily going to get that fight, but do you think in some ways this has kind of worked out for the better and it's kind of sorted itself out in a sense?
Absolutely. He knew that title shot was never his all along. We are one of the best dynamic duos in the history of MMA, but let's get it right. You know, we are the Batman and Robin. Of course I'm Batman and he's Robin, but you guys know what I mean.
How do you think a fight between him and Conor McGregor goes?
I mean, he would piece up Conor for sure, no doubt about it. Conor's too small. He's a little guy, and, you know, this and that. So, you know, that's that. But, you know, 170, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Marty Fake Newsman, and we're talking about that receding hairline that he has. He's losing that hairline faster than he's about to lose that number one contender Power Ranger belt. The guy's on borrowed time right now, boys.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, it looks like with a lot of your opponents after the fight, you don't have too many hard feelings for them. Robbie Lawler, for example, it looks like you have a lot of respect for him, and it makes a lot of sense. But with a guy like Usman, would you say that, you know, even after you beat him, there still won't be a friendship there and you still sort of resent him when it comes to that kind of thing?
Of course, man. The guy's a piece of shit, dude. I've just heard from so many people, like, how he's so fake and he just acts like he's some superstar, and he acts like he's better than people. So, you know, he has no personality. Literally, Tyron Woodley had more charisma than him. Like, that's sad. Tyron Woodley has zero charisma. So you know that's in the negative. So for Marty Fake Newsman. So the guy's a piece of shit, man. I mean, he was ducking me so long when Glenn Robinson was his manager that Glenn Robinson died from it because he was ducking me so hard and wouldn't fight me. So, you know, it's pretty sad. The guy's fake. No one cares about him. I'm gonna end him soon. I promise you guys that. You heard it here first. Mark my words.
You just mentioned Tyron Woodley. I just want to get your thoughts on him, GSP, Kevin Lee, Rory McDonald. All of these guys seem to be training together, trying to get themselves sort of to improve. What were your thoughts when you saw that Woodley was going to try and train with GSP to get better?
Who? I mean, he's a nobody. He's irrelevant. He's not even a top 20 fighter anymore. He'll never see him fight again. And does it matter? All those guys are over the hill. All those guys are past their time. I mean, one of them's not even anybody. I don't even know why you put him in the same sentence. So,
which one are you talking about, Woodley or GSP?
I mean, both of them, bro. They both suck, man. They're terrible. They're both just. Woodley's over the hill. He's got no motivation. There's no fire there anymore. The guy sucks. He completely burned himself out, but good for him, man. He did good while he was there, but he's over the hill. He's past his time now. He knows it. That's why he ain't going to fight anymore. That's why he pulled out of the Robbie Lawler fight with a sore thumb. And Colby Chaos Covington had to come to the rescue and save ESPN and UFC on 4 weeks' notice with no time to train because I had a cut in the first week of camp from a headbutt in training.
I mean, with GSP, did you see him backstage before your fight? I know he was there cornering one of his fighters. What do you saw? Did you get a chance to speak to him? Did he try and speak to you after your fight?
He knew to stay away from the Great American Winning Machine. He knows that he that's a bad matchup for him. He has a 0% chance to win that fight. He knew to stay out of my locker room. That was my show. I'm the one that main evented. He's the one that's retired and no one gives a shit about him anymore. His hype's gone. He can't win fights anymore. So, then he needs to stop with his bullshit narrative. He wants to fight Khabib. He doesn't want to fight anybody, dude. He wants to just keep his name in the headlines, kind of like Tyron Woodley, a same dude that tries to keep his name on the headlines by clout chasing me. Go look at all my posts over the weekend. He's just clout chasing. He's out there in the comments, every freaking thing. It's like, oh, yeah, you could have done something about that. You fucking ran from me for 3 years, you little bitch. Stay on TMZ talking about the Kardashians, you little soft-ass hoe. Little fucking liberal scum motherfucker. Stop talking about the fucking greatest fucking fighter in the welterweight history. America's champion, Donald Trump's favorite fighter, Colby Chaos Covington, motherfuckers.
Look, we really appreciate your time, Colby, and we'll let you go in just a second. But I want to ask this because next week, me and Casper are going to be in Anaheim covering UFC 241, and I feel like the biggest storyline going around there is people asking Nate Diaz what he thinks about you, and your run in the division. So I just want to jump ahead of that and get your thoughts. What does this fight mean? If he beats Anthony Pettis, would you consider defending your title against Nate Diaz? Would you consider fighting him if this Usman fight didn't come together?
Absolutely. Nate Diaz knows his little fucking hooked on phonics ass is a worthy of the title shot. He's got a big enough name, but we know Nate Diaz ain't fighting me, dude. He got mopped up by RDA. He got mopped up by Dong Hum Kim. I retired Dong Hum Kim. I mopped up RDA. 2 of my sloppy seconds beat his ass. So he knows where he stands. That's why he's trying to take an over the hill Pettis, a guy that got lucky in one fight and they're trying to put some hype around him. He don't want to fight a real 70-pound champion like me. He wants nothing to do with a guy like me. So, he's not good anywhere. I'm better than him everywhere. I mop him up. I'll get in the black belt and choke his ass out. He's a little fucking pencil neck geek.
Do you think he even gets past Anthony Pettis next week?
Yeah, I think so. I think his pressure boxing will get to Pettis. Pettis is over the hill. He's off the juice, he's got no more juice in him. He don't look the same. His body's deflated. So, unless he's getting lucky with Superman punches, that's probably not going to happen. He's going to get pieced up. But what does that mean? What are they fighting for? Are they fighting for the early board special?
Oh man, Colby, we could chat to you all day, but we don't want to be too greedy with your time. We know it's late. You've just finished dinner with Dan Lambert. We'll let you go. Make sure to follow the man on Twitter and Instagram at ColbyCov MMA, and of course, get your Colby Covington gear at Pro Wrestling Tees. We'd love to see a Kurt Angle, Colby Covington collaboration sometime in the future, Colby. Till then, man, we hope you get this obviously pay increase and this Kamaru Usman fight comes together. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us.
Appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to California CBD and also my buddy who was in my corner this weekend. He's in the 6th Army Ranger Battalion unit. He was in the 82nd Airborne unit. His name's Stephen Hodson. He was a great corner this week for me. So I appreciate, the Army letting me have such a high-ranking officer be able to come into my fight and support me. So much love, Stephen Hodson. And take care, guys. Pleasure to do it for you. Raw American Steel, Twisted Sex Appeal up in the building. Over and out.